Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Slash and Leatherhead from the NECA TMNT cartoon line. These are Target exclusives. I got mine on Target.com, the app, whatever you want to say. And it was actually fairly painless. NECA told us the day ahead of time that they were going to go up, and then when they did go up, everyone tweeted it out. And they were up for a good 10-15 minutes or so. It really wasn't too bad. Placed the order, no issues. Target shipped it to me. All good. So I really do feel like NECA's hearing the fans and they're really helping us. They've done some pre-orders on their own site. They're helping Target kind of combat the bots. So it's nice. They're really helping us get our hands on these figures, which we so desperately want because they look good. I mean, let's be honest. They really look good. I'm very excited. Slash and Leatherhead. Now, Slash did happen already in the Turtles in Time video game line, but as you can see, it's a very different Slash. This is exactly what he looked like on the cartoon, and his cartoon animation model was very different from the action figure, and I believe the action figure is what they modeled his video game appearance after. So, two very different looking figures. I do have the Turtles in Time Slash, so I will do a comparison. They did also do Leatherhead in the Turtles in Time line in the second wave. I just don't have him yet. So I think it's on its way, but I don't have that to do a comparison now. But when that comes in that video, I'll bring this guy back and we'll do a comparison there. So pretty standard packaging, although I will say I like that they're able to use the classic logo again. Previously, I guess Nickelodeon wasn't letting them use that. I don't really know the story behind it, but happy to see the classic logo again. So very, very cool. Not too much going on the top or bottom, but picture of Slash over here on this side, picture of Leatherhead on this side. Taking a look at the back just kind of shows the complete wave. So we've already seen Casey and Foot Soldier. April and Foot Soldier has also come out, which I do have. And I still have Bebop and Rocksteady. Originally, I wasn't going to review them because I kind of didn't know if I was going to continue reviewing these NECA Turtles, but then I kind of started up again. So I guess at some point I'll go back and review the two of those guys. I still have them in the box, so they were so hard to find that when I finally got them, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to take them out of the box or not. But in any case, let's go ahead and let's get Slash and Leatherhead out of the box so we can take a closer look. So here the two are out of the packaging. We'll start over here with Slash. Great job. Really, really like what they did with them. I think the shell looks fantastic. You have all these nice spiky pieces for the snapping turtle. I think he's supposed to be a snapping turtle. I don't know if they ever actually say what kind of turtle he is, to be honest. And if they do, I apologize. It's been a minute since I've seen the original TMNT cartoon, so I have to admit I'm not 100% up to snuff on my original TMNT cartoon trivia, but please forgive me. But he looks great. I mean, they did a great job. The likeness is fantastic. All of the armor and everything looks really cool. I'm not a huge fan of this backpack piece. I'm pretty sure it is from the show. Obviously, they wouldn't have put it here if it wasn't. It's got this kind of elasticy band, and you might be able to take it off. I'm kind of thinking about it. These connections here, though, I will say, where the backpack connects, feels kind of tenuous. Like I'm afraid. Let's see, maybe if I took his head off. Do I want to try this? Do I want to attempt this? How do I feel about taking his head off? Now I'm nervous. Okay, there we go. That wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. For a second, it seemed like it was going to be, but let's see. Take this off. If we can get this over the spike. There we go. Okay, so you can take it off. It's not impossible. And then we'll go ahead and put this back on here. I was gonna say, I felt like the heads have to be made to come off because I remember with Casey's head, we had to take that off to get his backpack, his golf bag. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, I definitely like him better without the backpack. I just think he looks cooler. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the backpack. I just personally don't need it. But you can see it's kind of a very soft, rubbery. It almost feels like over time this is going to degrade. And that's the only other problem. He's got so many spikes that kind of stab my hands trying to handle him sometimes. But these connections, they feel a little like they might not last, but we'll see. But again, design of the backpack looks good. I just personally don't care for it. I like him better just like this, a little bit less encumbered. So articulation, as you can see, the head was on a ball joint, so you can spin side to side, up and down, no problems there. A little bit of flashing, it looks like, underneath there, but that should be fine. Shoulders, the shoulder pads hinder it a little bit, but not too bad, so you can kind of flip that out to the side. Bicep swivel, you can see the elbows. The elbows are a little tight for me. I feel like the elbows always are the hardest part for me, especially with the turtles. But you can bend, and then you can also swivel. So he has the bicep swivel, which this one's a little loose, but it's not too bad. And then you have the elbow swivel as well. So you have that. You have the typical wrist joint. And again, these are all fairly stiff because I just opened this, but spin there. In the waist, you do kind of have this piece that moves a little bit side to side, back and forth. You have out to the side movement here for the hips. You have a thigh swivel. And then his knees are actually really nice. They're probably the easiest joints to move on the entire figure. I don't know if that's just mine, but the double jointed knees, very easy to move. And then you have the rock back and forth on the ankle, as well as the tilt up and down. So really nice articulation. Like him quite a bit. Accessory wise, he comes with 2 swords. So we'll go ahead and put these into his hands. Let's see how well we can do this. There we go. That's a little bit better. Interestingly enough, he does not come with additional hands. Not that I really need him to. But I thought it was interesting because I'm pretty sure like every other NECA release has come with alternate hands. I could be wrong about that. But again, I don't really need him to. He holds his swords quite well. So he's got that going for him, which I like. He also comes with the tiny turtle, which I believe is supposed to be him pre-mutagen. And I believe that's so. In the cartoon, he was Bebop's pet turtle. So if you want to give this to Bebop, you could. Pre-mutation. So that's pretty cool. He also comes with his little... I think he called this his binky. Again, it's been a minute, but if I remember the episode... this is in his terrarium, so he loves it when he's a little turtle, like I just showed you. Then when he gets mutated, he still loves this, and I guess, you know, they're trying to keep away or take it from him to kind of ruin his concentration while they're fighting him. So this is like his security blanket almost from his terrarium, which is kind of funny. Then there's an assortment of guns, and I don't know which of these are supposed to go with him or Leatherhead. They're just kind of in the box. But you have this, which is crazy looking. I don't even know how this would work because, you know, this piece is just kind of floating out here connected to all this stuff with just cables. But it's a neat looking gun, very nicely detailed and very nicely painted. So you have that gun. You have this giant thing, which again, this looks like something out of Halo. Like I love all these crazy different accessories, like all the different guns you get with the foot soldiers and whatnot. Crazy Dimension X tech here. I love it. So maybe this is like a rail gun or something. I'm not quite sure. But again, very nicely detailed, very nicely painted. Absolutely love the look of this. I have no idea what it is, but it looks awesome. And then this gun, which I believe this is supposed to go with Leatherhead, because it looks kind of like a shotgun, but then it's got what I believe to be 2 containers of ketchup on the end of it. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with this, but I do believe this goes with Leatherhead. But still pretty cool. So there's a ton of guns. There's a ton of different guns in this set. I like him with the swords, so that's probably how I'm going to display him. But I almost forgot his half-eaten pizza. So you can kind of make it look like, you know, he's eating the pizza. So I think that's kind of fun. Give him a little half-eaten pizza there. Okay, we already talked about the backpack. So let's get into Leatherhead. This guy is massive. I mean, if you can't tell, the tail comes separate in the box because otherwise how would they do it? But it's just a ball joint. So there's a ball joint in the base and then another ball joint sticking out that you connect the tail to. So move all around, side to side. Doesn't move a ton as far as once it's connected, but it looks great. You can turn it from side to side, you know, have them whip people with it, which I think is pretty cool. He's got these connectors here and here, which I believe you're supposed to connect these two, and these are his like little lobsters that he throws. If you remember the video game at all, I feel like these were specifically made for the video game version of this guy, and then they just included him with this as well. Again, I don't remember the episode he appears in, but I think these are supposed to connect on here and then just kind of like rest on his belt, so you can put one on each side, which is pretty cool. But if in the video game, if you remember, he throws these out to try to hit the turtles with. So he's got 1, 2 of these, and now he's not going to stand because I moved him. Stay there. I believe they are identical. You can see they're kind of two-toned. So very cool accessory, very Leatherhead. He's also got like a bear trap, and it does spring closed, which is cool. I mean, it doesn't spring, you have to just move it, but it does open and close, which I think is a nice touch. And then he's also got this piece, which I believe you can put around his wrist. So I think how this is supposed to work is this goes around his wrist, and then he throws the trap out as a weapon, but then I don't know how this is supposed to connect. So I don't know. I'm sure you could play with it. But he does also have this chain that he can, connect to his wrist. So you could use it as a weapon to tie up a prisoner or something, or use it as like a weapon, however you want to do that. I don't know exactly how that's supposed to work, but it's a cool accessory. And then real quick, see, I know he's going to fall over. They give you like a big tuft of rope that has like a knot, so like he can tie up, hostages and stuff. He also comes with this giant net, and I'm assuming this is supposed to be like a put it on the ground and have him walk over it, and then it's a trap and it all pulls up. So between that and the rope, you can kind of rig that up if you have a display space big enough to kind of, do a whole crazy trap like that. I mean, more power to you. I certainly don't, but I love that they give you the accessories so you have that option. That's really, really neat. So the amount of accessories with this set is just kind of nuts. And then, of course, you do get some extra hands here for Leatherhead. These are a little tight, but the wrists do move. So it looks like you've got kind of a grab and stuff hand. You've got, this looks like probably for the gun, maybe a trigger finger hand. I don't know how you're supposed to. See, it's the only problem with these. They're always so tight, and I don't know how you're supposed to get this in here. I mean, I'm sure this is supposed to go in here, but I mean, this is crazy tight, so I don't really know. I'm sure this is supposed to go in here, but good luck. I'm sure it can happen. All right, come on. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. There we go. There we go. Yes, maybe so. There we go. So there you go. It can happen. Now I have to try to get it out of here. I think over time it'll probably get easier. Oh, it looks like it might be chipping paint a little bit. Oh, that's not great. Look at that. That got a lot of the paint from the hand on the weapon. So that's not great. So be aware of that. Yeah, I don't know why they always need to make these so tight. Like, I understand you want it to be able to hold the weapon, but if the paint chips off, then that doesn't help. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Look at all this. Just kind of like plastic and things that are breaking off of these as I'm handling them out of the box. So just be wary. And I mean, I can probably get that off. I'm assuming this was cast in brown plastic. Will that come off? I'll have to try to clean that later. But yeah, so just be wary about that. He also has these two kind of like giant coming after you hands, which are pretty cool. So I'll probably keep him either with the fists or with these. The only problem is these wrists are always so tight to try to move them. That's not, I love NECA figures, but I feel like sometimes the joints are so tight that I'm afraid to move them because they're going to break. I feel like that's a real concern. So again, the head I think looks great. Face design. Unfortunately, my mouth is a little warped, unless it's supposed to be like that. It can open ever so slightly, which is pretty cool. So that does have, it does have a hinge there. I feel like I want to move the head back farther, but I can't really get it to go. but the mouth can open and close slightly. So I appreciate that. Head can obviously go from side to side. It's a little tight. The shoulders, I think, work pretty well. Shoulders on this guy, nice in and out. You have a bicep swivel. Although I'll be honest, with this bicep, I can't tell if it's actually moving or if I'm breaking something in there. I hope I'm not. The elbows are pretty good. Wrist spin. He's got a torso swivel there. And then he's got out to the side in the hips, which are a little tight. I feel like over time they will loosen up. It's just, you know, at first. And then you do have a thigh swivel, which again, it's a little tight. Doesn't really want to cooperate. There we go. You just kind of have to get everything to kind of move the first time, because I think sometimes with the paint and things like that, you know, paint gets in joints and things in the factory, and then you kind of have to break that paint. So there we got double jointed knees. Very, very tight. Very, very, very tight. And then you have a rock here in the ankle, as well as a side to side for that boot. I do think it's weird, though, that you can see the ankle joint is like a tan, pinkish tan color, which is strange, but it's not a huge deal because you shouldn't see it most of the time. So he's big. He's very, very impressive as far as size goes. I mean, honestly, the amount of accessories and how big these two figures are, that they kept them at the same price as the rest of the wave, is pretty impressive to me. I'm not going to lie. I feel like it might be some of the reason why April's kind of shrunk down. We'll talk about that more when we get to that one. But these guys are impressive. The sheer amount of accessories, the sheer size of Leatherhead, Slash looks really good. I'm honestly, I'm pretty impressed. And then, of course, real quick, I wanted to do a comparison between the video game Slash and the cartoon Slash. Obviously, very different designs, but I really like both figures. Honestly, I think they're both great. I probably gravitate a little bit more towards the video game Slash, just because it's more closely resembling the original toy, which I never had as a kid, but always had friends who had it and wanted it, and I just never got it myself. So this is very much like fulfilling a small childhood dream for me. But I think they're both great. I mean, obviously, this is very faithful to how he appeared on the cartoon. This is very faithful to the original toy and the video game appearance. So they're both great for different reasons, and I'm very happy to have both. And looking at them, you can see that they're kind of basically the same mold. The toes, you can see, I think, are pretty much the same, so the feet are probably the same. Very slightly different knee pads here. Obviously, the belts are different. Head sculpts are different. Let me look around on the back. It looks like the shells are the same. You can tell by the configuration of the spikes. So he does have some similarities in mold. But like I said, they're both really great. I really love both of them. I think they did a great job with both. And they almost look like they could be two completely different characters. Like if you didn't know better, you could just say they're two evil turtle characters, and they both look fantastic. So again, I really love this set. I think they did a great job. Out of the two, which one's my favorite? That's hard to say. I'd probably say Slash, just because I love the turtles, and I think they did a great job with him. I like him better without the backpack, but if you wanted to keep that backpack on, of course, that's probably more faithful to the cartoon, and I could probably always try to get it back on, but I just think he looks a little bit better without it. Again, just personal preference, so I personally took it off. But he looks really good. Love the weapons he comes with. Love all of the accessories across the whole set. I mean, there's tons of different guns, the half-eaten pizza, the little turtles. Of course, the inclusion of this was absolutely fantastic and super specific to the cartoon that Slash appeared in, so that was a good episode. But, I mean, all of these accessories are just crazy. The giant net with the rope is awesome. Again, I personally don't have the space to set up that kind of a diorama, but I love that they included that stuff. Leatherhead looks good. Like I said, I feel like I don't know if it's supposed to be. Maybe on the cartoon it was that, so he kind of looks like he's talking out of the side of his mouth. I can't get over the fact that it just looks like they're not quite lined up correctly. And again, it might be completely intentional. I don't know. Um, I wish the head went a little bit further back, but it's pretty good, honestly. I think it's pretty good. And yeah, I think he looks great. The design's great. The tail looks fantastic. Some of the joints are tight, but I feel like that's always the case with NECA stuff. You just have to kind of ease into them, and over time they loosen up, and then you can really get into some good poses. But yeah, honestly, I'm just impressed with the sheer size of Leatherhead, his bulk. I mean, he feels hefty, and the sheer amount of accessories they've included in this set. Definitely, I think this is probably the best set in the wave. Not to put down the other two, but you're getting two original figures. I mean, two completely original figures in the way that, yes, those other foot soldiers are, slightly different because they're modified, but these guys are completely different. Um, and I love them. I think they both look fantastic. And just the accessories, I still can't get over the amount of accessories. Like I said, the only thing that surprised me was that Slash didn't come with alternate hands. Again, didn't really bother me because he can hold his swords, and that's all I really need him to do. I don't really need like closed fist hands because, kind of given the context of that episode, he wasn't like a super fighter because he was kind of a bumbling doof. But they were trying to make him into a great warrior that he just wasn't. So I think in the context, it doesn't make sense to have him come with, grasping hands, fist hands. Like he has what he needs, and I think it works. Leatherhead having the extra hands is awesome. I just always, these are too tight in my opinion, and as you saw, it got some paint on the weapon here. I was able to kind of scrape it off, so it's not too bad as far as lasting damage. But when you have accessories this nice, I don't want to get paint on them because I can't get them into the hands. It just seems like a shame. So but yeah, it's a really nice set. I definitely recommend picking it up. I think it's like $52, I think, at Target. So they come out to about $26 a figure. I think that's perfectly fair for what you get. And I love them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.